Things have returned to normal, more or less. People are back at work, students are back at school, and shops and businesses have reopened. But yeah, Japan is slowly getting back on track. We're all taking caution and we're all just making sure that we're doing our due diligence. Like, people still have to wear masks whenever they go outside. Parks have reopened, which is huge. There's just a lot of rules in place. Guests have to wear a mask at all times. They have to maintain social distancing around the parks. It's like a soft opening in order to limit the gathering of large groups of people in small places. Things like attractions and rides and shows and events and parades and even some restaurants remain closed even during the times that the parks are reopening in order to limit crowds gathering in small areas, and I think that's a really good move on their part. They're trying to spread out the guests in the area as much as possible. Nonetheless, you are still able to purchase merchandise or purchase things from the parks. You just have to go to the bigger shops in order to maintain that social distancing. So things are pretty much back to normal, and that means I have been hitting the shops a lot more frequently because I don't have to isolate myself as much as I used to, and it's quite a nice feeling to be able to get some semblance of normalcy back into our daily lives. And in this video I'll be sharing with you my favorites for the month of June. I did a lot of shopping, especially for stationery. There's a huge haul that's just waiting to be gone through. I've accumulated piles and piles of stuff in the past couple of weeks. I don't exactly know how I'm going to make videos out of them, if I even should do a series on them, what kind of video I should be making, so I'll be thinking about that in the next couple of weeks or so. There is a concept that I recently discovered while I was going through the stationery aisles of various shops. It seems to be a popular theme or a very current theme with the transition from spring to summer, and you'll see what I mean when we talk about that concept later. But first, let's talk about snacks. And as you know, I frequent 7-Eleven a lot because I pass by it through my way to work. So it's very easy for me to find any new things, especially snacks or food items that they have stocked on shelves. And this is one thing that I discovered. It's not anything new to the 7-Eleven stores. It's just one of the regular items that I recently found out about because I was like, okay, it's about time that I give this a shot because I see it all the time. And I'm a huge chip lover. I love to munch on things that are crunchy. It just gives me some sort of satisfaction. I don't know, maybe you can relate. I was looking through the aisle of chips, and Japan is really good about releasing new flavors that coincide with seasons. And so I was checking out their summer flavors, and then I came across this. It's a type of chip, but instead of those flat, thin crisps that you normally see, these types of chips are potato wedges, fried potato wedges with their skins still on. I've come across this so many times. It's time to give it a shot. And I was so pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed it, because there's another type of chip that's really popular in Japan. You can find it in any grocery store, in any convenience store, and it's called jagabi, and they are like fried fries. That's the closest similarity or analogy I can think of, because they literally look like fried fries. If fries were in a potato chip form, this is the kind of snack that you would come across. This is obviously a thicker cut, so the texture is a lot softer, but still maintains its crunchiness because it's still fried chips. The other chip, the jagabi chips, are thinner. They're a thinner cut, so it's a lot harder, the texture, and so therefore a lot crunchier. I want to show you what they look like, and I'll show you just what one of the slices looks like. Let me just find a good one. Oh, yeah, this is perfect. So this literally looks like a potato wedge, doesn't it? And the flavor of this is salt. So it's just salt flavored. I don't think I've ever seen other flavors. There might be other flavors if you go to a bigger 7-Eleven. And the other great thing about this is, because the bag is smaller, it's usually half the number of calories that you would be consuming compared to a regular bag of chips. And I'm always all for that, because I can easily eat an entire bag of chips in one sitting, but then I always feel so guilty afterwards. I feel amazing, but I feel guilty at the same time. It's quite a dilemma. And this one is only 235 calories. So you're getting thick cuts of fried potato for half of the calories for about 150 yen a bag. I cannot recommend this enough. Alright, let's just put that aside and I will talk about that concept that I mentioned earlier, and it's a concept called yumekawaii. You're probably already familiar with kawaii. It means cute in Japanese, and yume means dream. Put it together and you get dreamy cute or dream-like cuteness. It involves a lot of pastels, soft colors. Think of gradients like sunsets, sunrises, and it's especially found in fashion, toys, and more recently stationery. And I have been like so interested in this because all of the stationery that involves this concept is so stinking cute that I don't know what to do with all these feelings. I really don't know what to do with myself. Let me show you some examples. This is a Ziploc bag and it revolves around the idea of summer, and with summer comes ice cream. That's what you see, that ice cream truck over there, and there's a whole bunch of pastel like themes and motifs and elements surrounding that. This is a good example of yumekawaii. You can see a lot of soft versions of colors and they're all mixed together in one spot. This makes it dreamy and cute, right? Let me show you another example. This is a plastic file organizer. They're taking ice cream and like splashing it onto colors like these pastel gradients and whatnot. A lot of it also involves candy, soft toys like plushies, gummy candies, and because those things tend to come in very vibrant colors, they do add like a sort of pop design to the kawaii concept. Here is another example. This one is a set of sticky notes, like those sticky tabs that you pull out, and it has the gummy bears concept on it. This is definitely yumekawaii though. You can see how there's a gradient of various soft colors or pastel colors. They're all kind of mixed together or just blend one into the other there. And so you can get this sense of like a dream-like effect. And actually Sanrio does this concept pretty well because they have a lot of characters that carry a particular theme that tends to revolve around those two concepts, like dreamy and cute. A very good example of that is Little Twin Stars. I would say they are like the carriers of that concept. They have been for several years. And even more popular than Little Twin Stars is Cinamoroll. Here's a set of zipper bags. Cinamoroll is themed to sweets and pastries or baked goods, and they are surrounding Cinamoroll. And this kind of color palette is also close to that concept, although not quite as close compared to, let's say, something like this, but you get the idea, I hope, from comparing these two. This is more kawaii. I would say this is closer to the concept of yumekawaii because there's a lot more colors and there's especially gradients. So if I put those three together, this is a good sense of what yumekawaii looks like across the board. So this is a concept that I've really gotten into, and I would very much like to incorporate it in my bullet journal spreads somehow. And so I'm collecting a lot of stickers, a lot of masking tapes that will add to that concept. And that's why there's been a lot of shopping done recently. And the last thing I want to share with you for the month of June, if you've watched my recent stationery hauls, especially the one that is based on unique Japanese stationery, I have gotten into something called DecoRush tapes. They are essentially decoration tapes in the fashion of correction tapes. And I'm so obsessed with them because this is like revolutionary. And I recently discovered that there are Disney decoration tapes, and so I was like, yes, I need these. I missed out on a couple of waves, so I had to get them through a third-party seller, but I'm totally fine with that. I just have to be on the lookout for them more actively from now on. And I came across somebody that was selling them in a pack of 5. I thought myself pretty lucky because these decoration tapes are no longer available in stores. They're no longer being sold because they've been released like last year or even 2-3 years ago. They're old releases. So let me just show you what they look like. I'm going to be dedicating an entire notebook or journal to my trips to Tokyo Disney Resort. So it's going to be a Tokyo Disney trip dedicated journal, and so I definitely wanted to get a lot more Disney themed stationery in order to spice up all my spreads because of that. So I'm still in the hunt for more masking tapes, more stickers, more decoration tapes, if any, in order to add to that. And that also means on my next Tokyo Disney trip, I will be scouring the stationery aisles a lot more actively and a lot more carefully in order to achieve those things. So those are my favorites for the month of June. Let me know which ones you got interested in, which ones you found interesting. I hope you found this information insightful and learning a little bit more about Japan, and I hope you'll consider subscribing and hitting that bell. Thanks so much for sharing your time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.